This is KLEAN Radio.
And hello, America. Welcome to KLEAN Radio. I'm Pat O'Brien, your host tonight. Joining us now is our regular Andrew Spanswick. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, how's it going, Pat?
Addiction and mental health expert and my friend, and out enjoying the weather today.
Yeah, it was beautiful. I walked my dog in the sun.
We have a great guest tonight, a dear friend of mine, Dr. Wendy Walsh, and I. Do I have to call you doctor?
Yes, you do.
Oh, God,
no, I'm joking.
Right.
Only my mother would call me doctor if she were alive.
Well, God bless her. So what we're about here is recovery, and recovery is a big word. I mean, so many things, and my credentials are. Is it my credentials are, right, doctor?
If there's more than one credential, then yes, it's R.
Hopefully.
Don't patronize me. I've been through it. I'm an alcoholic. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I'm in recovery. I don't like the stigma of the word alcoholic. We can get to that sometime. I've been to 4 rehabs because I didn't listen to the first 3, and the final one I got sober. 6 years ago, right now, I was in a mental hospital on the East Coast because not on a 5150, but they just didn't know what to do with me. And I finally got sober on November 5th, which is next Wednesday, and that'll be my 6th year, God willing.
Congratulations.
And Andrew, you know, and Wendy, you really know what I've been through in my life, and it's been a journey. I wouldn't take any of it back. So that's my credentials. Andrew's credentials are spectacular because he is a mental health and addiction expert. And somehow everything does come down to mental health, doesn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, I think that if you look at the population at large, at some point they're going to have everybody has some sort of mental health crisis, even if it's depression or anxiety. And often those can be the most devastating, and that's where we often see substance abuse coming in, where people start self-medicating and they get into problems with addiction and abuse.
It's about trouble managing the F word, feelings.
Yeah, it's a lot of it.
And when you start feeling your feelings, you feel weird because you haven't felt them before.
Right.
And you say, what do I need for this? And I think a lot of people, you know, alcoholism and those diseases, it's the only disease where the cure is what got you there. In other words, the instant cure for feeling depressed
all those
or whatever,
awful feelings.
are the feelings, and also drugs and alcohol. I mean, you think that you think the cure is if I could just get that one thing. But Wendy's book is the 30-Day Love Detox. I love that "the" on there. Why don't you call me
Facebook.
the Pat O'Brien?
The Pat O'Brien.
Yeah.
Well, that's who you are.
I hope I am.
Of course.
But all this comes down, Andrew, to addiction, doesn't it? I mean, mostly all these issues come down to addiction and the attempt at recovery.
Certainly, our mind is set up, as we've been talking about, has the dopamine system and it receives pleasure. And all these things that give us pleasure, like sex, are also mimicked by drugs. And a lot of the reasons that we see people use drugs and alcohol is that they get triggered or introduced to trying to make their feelings feel different by doing outside activities. Drinking and using drugs is a main one. And it's very common to hear people say, I used to drink and I was okay, and then my wife divorced me and I felt miserable and I drank a whole glass of whiskey and all of a sudden I had figured out a solution to my feelings.
But why do they go, well, I know, but Wendy, why do people just go right to that? I mean, I did, but...
Well, a couple things. One is we have a huge population of people in America who just don't get the love they need as infants and toddlers and grow up to have kind of attachment disorders, if you were. Their attachment style is that they're easily injured in personal relationships, or they avoid intimacy because it's terrifying for them. And then it wasn't modeled for them how to manage their feelings. So they'd have these feelings bubble up inside. Nobody taught them how to put it to words, and they don't have the language to express it. They don't trust that the other person they're going to give it to, these feelings, will be able to tolerate it because they can't tolerate it themselves. So it's easier to just numb that feeling.
Right. Also, we should also point out that alcoholism is a disease. It's a brain disease.
Absolutely.
And the alcoholic brain, mine certainly does, the number that you want is more of everything. And you just have to, there's a solution, and you have to arrest that. And I finally found a spiritual side and a way to figure out how I can get through life without drinking. And I have. And I'm a much better person, certainly much more handsome.
Of course.
Than I used to be. There is a solution to just about everything. Just try not to get to that point. Wendy, thank you.
Thank you.
Andrew, we'll see you around.
Thank you, Pat.
I'm Pat O'Brien. We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us on KLEAN Radio, KLEANradio.com or Facebook.com/KLEAN Radio. We're here all the time for you. We're here to help you. There is a solution. Believe me, there is. If I can do it, anybody can. We'll see you next time.